Put warrants tracking Chinese shares as well as the Hong Kong indices of Hang Seng Index and Hang Seng Tech Index outperformed with returns of up to 148% for a third straight month in October. Find out why and how this happened, and why you may wish to consider using warrants to trade the continued volatility in November.
Hi, I'm Jamie from Macquarie Warrants, and I'm here to share with you some highlights of the market action last month and how you could have used warrants to capture some of these moves.
For a third consecutive month, put warrants tracking the Hong Kong indices and Chinese shares soared as Chinese stocks were dealt a fresh blow in October after Chinese President Xi Jinping announced his new Politburo Standing Committee member lineup, an intention to adhere to China's zero-COVID policy. The prices of put warrants moved in the opposite direction to the underlying, increasing in value as the underlying falls and decreasing in value when the underlying rises. Therefore, put warrants allow investors to potentially gain when the underlying falls. For the month of October, holders of put warrants tracking Chinese names or Hong Kong indices would have found their warrants amongst the top warrant gainers. The highest put gainers were those tracking the Hang Seng Index and Meituan shares, which jumped between 133% to 148%, with the two underlines down 40% and 49% respectively. Other put warrants tracking Alibaba, Geely, JD.com, BYD and the Hang Seng Tech Index gained between 22.2% to 76.1%. You may have noticed that some of the put warrants tracking underlyings that were down more did not necessarily lead to the highest gains. For example, the put warrant tracking Hang Seng Tech did not generate more returns than the Hang Seng Index and Meituan puts. That is because the magnitude of the warrant price change largely depends on the effective gearing levels of the warrants. How much more warrants move given a move in the underlying price in the short term depends on their respective effective gearing levels. You can use the effective gearing level multiplied by the underlying share or index move to estimate the percentage return on the corresponding warrant. In the case of the Hang Seng put warrant PGRW, it had the lower effective gearing than the Hang Seng Index and Meituan put warrants. You can find the effective gearing levels for each warrant in the warrant search table of our website. Looking at call warrants, some of the top call gainers include those tracking Yangzijiang, which was the STI's top stock gainer for the month with a 16.5% return. The stock spiked during the month on news that the company secured new orders for 22 vessels. We had reported on this on our Telegram channel on 7th of October. UOB shares were the second top gainer on the STI with a 6.1% return in October. The bank was the first of the local banks to report and had reported a record third quarter net income on the 28th of October. Given the solid performance of Yangzijiang and UOB shares, call warrants tracking both names were amongst the top performing call warrants in October, clocking magnified gains of 63.9% and 34.3% respectively, while the UOB put warrant fell 33.6%. The warrants produced returns that were higher than the underlying stocks due to the warrants gearing. Indeed, gearing and the low absolute warrant price or investment are two of the top reasons why investors would consider using warrants to trade short-term moves instead of directly using the underlying shares or index. Looking at this month of November, markets look to be driven by any surprises from the US Federal Reserve rate decisions, earnings result, and macroeconomic data. Chinese tech firms including Tencent, Alibaba, Meituan, JD.com, Xiaomi will be reporting from the mid of November, while economic data from the China and US may set the market sentiment toward the end of November. For further details on warrants and how to start trading them, log on to www.warrants.com.sg or feel free to contact us at our warrant hotline. Also, don't miss out on timely market news, as well as warrant investment ideas by scanning the QR code in blue to join our Telegram channel. Looking forward to speaking to you again in next month's market commentary video.